I met a gypsy.
Yeah, and I think the sport, it's tough, and it teaches you a lot of, I think, a lot of life lessons, and I think that such a small percentage make it to the true highest level, and so I think that, again, going back to that, you're born, not made, and I think that you can't just push it. You can push it so far, but at some point you have to have that passion and that the skill set to do it. And what I love about what Moto does is not everybody's going to make it there, right? But that's okay. It's about
you're still picking up something.
The life lessons that you get from motorcycle racing, and such a high percentage of the people that you interact with at these kinds of events are just good people, and like I said, I'm 41 and I've been around it for 37 years, and we're still counting, and I love it,
Well, I've got some gear. We're both sponsored by Alpine Stars. I'm trying to get an Orange Brigade ride for Loretta's, so feel free tomorrow to just swing by the tent and let's win this C-Class for me, bro.
You want me to put the gear on for you?
Yeah, just put the gear. No one will know. Wear my jersey, so there's no read on the back,
You have a 250F though, right? Ooh.
Yeah.
I haven't rode a 250F.
Hey,
I'm not much of a fan of 250Fs. I'm a 450 guy.
Well, we've also decided that the gearing, you went the wrong way.
You went the wrong way?
Yeah, DB
your
went
team
the wrong
manager
way.
went the wrong way?
My team manager went the wrong way. He's probably not going to sign me now because he's like, this dude's difficult.
Yeah.
He's so bad, and he's wanting to change gearing. He's not even jumping the jump.
That's now your life, where you're acting like everyone's difficult.
Yeah, my life now is that everything else is wrong, but the rider's not wrong at all. It was, of course, the bike that I provided, right?
So what's the you guys can kind of go anywhere. The decision to drive 8 hours from Florida to come back to this race in particular, what's the criteria for a Reed family race?
Our goal as a family is to go to events that put on quality events with quality racetracks. It's important for me and Ellie, I think, that you come, there's corner marshals, there's EMTs, because at the end of the day, it is dangerous, you have to acknowledge that part of it. But you don't want to be, most good, best motocross tracks in the world are in the middle of nowhere. And so how does the event, facilitate that? And just the kids going out there and riding safely, a track that gets taken care of and gets all the needs that it's supposed to get. So that's really us. We're not chasing the KTM contingency yet.
Yeah, it can't be far away. Hey, wait, they're on the radar.
Hold up. Could you imagine the day when he's going to call me and be like,
hey, man, my kid's pretty good.
Listen, let's start.
See, you got it all wrong. He said, imagine the day that I call him. You're going to be calling me.
It's the day I call you. That's what it is, right? Okay.
You're going to be calling me. Tate, don't get me wrong here. Keep working, kid.
Can you imagine what I'm going to have to deal with this Moto Dad? Of all the dads I deal with, if this is the one I have to deal with, oh, man. I already have Nick Way.
So you're on Nick's... Yeah.
Oh, I got to deal with Ellie. That's right. You're fine, right? You're chill. It's Mom I got to worry about.
Mama Bear that you got to worry about. But, yeah, right now you're in the honeymoon stage, so we'll give you a year or so to get up to speed. But he's not even great yet. Yeah.
Not yet. See, Chad wants me. He's like, Daniel needs to learn his job and be better at it before we even start the conversation of working together. I got to get my act together first, then we'll start the conversation. So I need to get in there a little bit longer.
Mount Motorsports and KTM do a good job for us, so you might make it without having to put up with us.
I love it. But I like what Chad says too. This sport's gnarly. I mean, you know that the investment that's in it, but I think there's other creative ways to do this thing. Everyone kind of hits that one lane wide open, biggest nationals, all in. But the truth is, and you know this best because you're living it, but the development starts happening the most in the teenage years, and Tate's hitting that right now. So now it's time to let's go explore. And they're in the RV, boom, 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 just getting him experience. And now is the time to go. And I hope that over time this sport realizes that this doesn't have to be so gnarly at 5, 6, and 7, and 8. You need good experience and then be ready to go and hit it hard when the kids can start doing it for himself. I know, Chad, you were telling me yesterday how it's him now. He's running this thing, and you're following, and it's him now, and it's that's the age, I think, of when this stuff kicks, right?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that right now last year we went pretty hard at it. Like we went and hit all the races. We did the area qualifiers. We hit up a regional. And for somebody that loves motorcycle racing as much as I do, I can honestly say the least amount of fun that we had was at the regional. It was horrible. Like, I've never gone to the Loretta Lynn's thing. And for me, there's, I have to be careful on how I say this. But there's a lot of things that, because of who I am and the direction and where I come from, we have access to a lot of different things. And so for me, it's coming to really quality events like this, not really focusing on, one event that I have to go and spend 10 to 15 days at, things like that. Just finding events, and if we end up there, we end up there, but it's not the goal. Supercross at 16 years old is the goal. He's 13 and he's got 3 years to figure it out. No.
Well, and figuring it out, though, is the creation of more opportunities to learn it. I don't know these details, but what's the deal in Australia? Give me the details on everything that you got going there with the Supercross, because I know it was important to you back when you were racing. I know it's back, but I don't know much past that. So tell me more about what's going on in Australia.
So I was really lucky as a kid. At 12 years old, you could ride Supercross. So, American Supercross as you know it, the big show, we were really lucky as 12-year-old kids to show up on 80. Actually, there were only 80s back then, and we could do it. And so from 12 to 16, I got to be at those events. So basically 12, 13 I rode 80s, and then 14, 15 I rode 125s, and then at 16 it was actually mandatory that you had to go then professional. I think since then, in the last couple of years, it's actually changed back to more of an American system. But for the last 5 or 6 years, it's basically been missing. I think that you see a lot of the level at that amateur level is starting to drop off at Supercross in Australia. And so Ellie and I and the kids got to spend some time there last year. And one of the things that we noticed at one of the local races was the grids were just packed. And I was so excited for Australian motocross to see how healthy it was. And I'm like, man, you really got to bring and tap into this youth and start that Supercross build. And so anyway, it's now the CR22 85cc Cup. I actually fly down to Australia here in a couple of weeks to do the first race, and then Tate will do the last 2 races. So we just built a house at James Stewart's property.
I can't believe
not
it.
a house.
Not a house.
We built a Supercross track at James's property. So
say that one more time, please.
So it should be pretty fun. And
you have a Supercross track built at James Stewart's house for Tate.
Right?
How in the world did that come up? I mean, whoa. Could you imagine 10 years ago if I would have told you, hey, you and James, you're going to build a track there. It's going to be for your kid racing Supercross. Come on.
I mean, 10 years ago, Haines City was off limits. You didn't even drive in there. Yeah, it was literally like Tallahassee. Don't go. I don't even know what Tallahassee looks like. Because it's like you just don't go there. It's just Ricky lives there. Stay away.
Bad place.
Orlando area. James lives over there. You just stay in your lane and do your thing. Go to the airport and fly to the races. So definitely, a lot of water under the bridge. We're good friends. We talk regularly, and it's funny. Like we have. Oh, hello.
Here we go.
Oh.
I think we're still streaming. There we go.
There you go. What's crazy is I went over about a week and a half ago. I went over to the property, and I was sitting there with Big James to go over a couple of things. And what I love, and I recently just lost my father, and it was crazy to me sitting there for 3 hours with Big James, and it's like the upbringing. Like, no wonder we fought like brothers, right? Because we are so alike in the way that our upbringing was. How Big James operates and runs the family is very, similar in a lot of ways to what my family was. And it's pretty cool to come full circle and have that respect and just somebody that you can talk to about that you can't talk to anyone else about things.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com. packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.